I'm a person that I am constantly learning. And I love to be able to facilitate and provide that education to everyone. It's not just Latinos or, I want to provide education for everyone. So,
Okay.
really being able to go to these training seminars, take in that information, bring it back to your teams, and then you, as a property manager or regional, educate your teams. Now you're kind of building a big chain, right? A really strong chain because you took information from someone that was knowledgeable and are now enforcing it and bringing it onto your properties.
All right, all right. Welcome back, guys, to Multifamily of the Cuff. This is going to be episode number 18. Wow, how amazing is that?
That's a great feat and accomplishment,
Yes.
actually.
Um, Joely, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure. It's an honor, really, to be here
Awesome.
with you.
I know we spoke about this a while back
A little bit, yeah.
to do something like this in combination with what you already do in Orlando, right?
Yeah, that's right, with Latinas in property management. So it's really an accomplishment just being here with you. I'm extremely proud of you and where you've actually, from where you started to where you are. And I'm super excited to see you and your continued growth.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us and helping us to share some of the, and educate the industry. I know that this is something that a lot of people want to join. People want to, they're curious about joining the multifamily, whether it's to work in a multifamily or to provide services to the multifamily. So let's go ahead and help them out.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. Let's go ahead.
All right. So, Joely, so our audience can understand, your background, who you are.
Yeah,
Just share with us a little bit what you have done
okay.
in the multifamily.
Oh my goodness, where to start? I've been in the multifamily for about 15 years now. I actually started in New York City. I was a account executive for a water treatment company. That's kind of where my basis was, right? I was doing sales. And one of my clients was a really big real estate professional. And I used to do his budgets and just help him out with the water treatment world, right? Cleaning boilers, HVACs, that type of stuff.
Okay.
And he just really had great conversations with me and just like the way my style was, just my budgets and how I organized myself, that he offered me a part-time position to be an HOA condo property manager.
Okay.
And I'll be completely honest with you, I had no idea that property management existed. I had never heard of it.
All right.
No one wakes up as a little kid and says, I want to be a property manager.
True.
It's not something that even in our schools at that moment they were educating us. So I took the opportunity. It was a part-time job. I'm a go-getter. So the extra money was always great. And I fell in love with the industry. It was more about really bridging the gap between the owners and the residents. And I was that middle person, and I truly enjoyed that. So I grew within that company. I started at first with a small HOA condo. It wasn't that small. It was about 300 units. And then I grew quickly within 6 months to one of his regional portfolio managers, and I had about 12 high rises under my belt. One of them actually is a very famous building. They do a lot of Law and Order, so they film it there, and we would have to do contracts, and it was all types of things. So I got a lot of experience, right?
Okay.
We moved down to Florida. Unfortunately, one of our family members was terminally ill. We came to visit, 10-day vacation. And we really sensed the urge that our family member needed us to stay here and take care of her.
Okay.
And we stayed, Fernando. Like, legitimately, with 10 days worth of vacation, maybe about a couple $1,000 in our pocket. And we said, well, we're going to start a new life here. And this was
Amazing.
about 6 years ago. And it's myself, my husband, and 3 kids. So, craziest decision we've ever made. But it was one of the best decisions we ever made. When I
amazing.
first arrived here, no one would give me an opportunity. So it didn't matter that I had the capability, the resources, the experience. I didn't have my CAM, right? And that was the first question I would get asked while in an interview. And I didn't have it. I didn't know what it was. Up north, that's not something that's required or requested. So it wasn't something that was in my
And
vision.
can you elaborate a little bit more into what CAM is so our audience can understand what that means?
Yeah, so CAM is a certification by the National Apartment Association, and it's for you to become a certified apartment manager. Now, it's not something that's necessarily required, but it comes with the experience, and it's more of an accreditation that you feel proud of. It is a lengthy process of studying, and then you have to take the test, which is not that easy, and then you get your CAM certification, and it just really states that you're qualified and a certified apartment manager.
Correct.
So I didn't have that, and honestly, the cost to achieve a CAM is about $800 to $1,200, right? So at that moment, I really didn't have the means to now stop what I was doing, get an extra $1,200 taken away from my family in order for me to acquire this accreditation. So I went into working as a project manager, and hated it. I'll be honest with you. I cried every day.
Oh my God.
I wanted to return to New York so bad. I was offered, actually, while I was here, the opportunity to manage Left Rack City. So I don't know if you've ever been to New York or you're from New York. Left Rack City is it's a small, I shouldn't say that small, it's about 16 buildings, but it is an affordable community in New York City, and it's very famous in Queens. And I told my husband, I said, we're going back. Like, I can't do this. I need to go back into property management. And he's like, just wait it out, just wait it out. And things happen, and I was lucky enough to get an opportunity to become a property manager here.
Okay.
And the doors opened for me. I was able to join our local apartment association at that time, which was AAGO, or the Greater Apartment Association of Greater Orlando. And they opened the doors for me. I was introduced to many people that were resources, that are our mentors, and that have truly guided me and really pushed me to be the better version of me. So I think that's really my biggest takeaway from any apartment association. It's that you forge these relationships, and they're enforced by just your friendships, those experiences that we all go through as property managers. And they really support you in your career growth. They give you the opportunities with scholarships to achieve your CAM licenses, or even above that, your CAPS, which is a certified portfolio or regional manager.
Right.
So for suppliers, right, for our vendors, we have the CAS, which is also a part of that certified supplier, correct. So, it's really just a bridge, and it's a bridge that I think everyone in our industry has to cross.
And that's perfect that you're bringing this topic into the, you bringing that up, because those are one of the questions. And I had the chance to coach many companies, small business owners, throughout the United States. They reach out to me due to the story that we have already shared online, and they know about how Briscoe started, my background, 17 years in the apartment industry myself. So I have the chance to help many small companies get into the apartment industry. And when it comes to what I did lately was I collected questions from what they have shared with me, with all these you just want more answers to get into the business. So I thought that was great to have you here and then share some of these questions with you. The ones that I have shared, and now that you have brought the apartment industry, the apartment association, one of them says, let's talk about the apartment association and its benefits.
Okay.
So now that I'm explaining to our audience, apartment association is broken down into the National Apartment Association, and then it goes into every state.
Correct.
If we're talking about Florida in particular, that's where we're based out of, it's going to be the Florida Apartment Association. So then within that, every city or major city is going to have the local association. In this case, we have the Bay Area Apartment Association, and then the one that you're part of is the Apartment Association Greater of Orlando.
Correct.
Then we have the
East Florida Apartment Association, so SEFA.
SEFA, correct. Yep. Then we have also the one in...
we have Space Coast, which their Galaxy Awards is Thursday, and we're excited about that.
Then the Jacksonville one.
We have a Jacksonville one.
Which
so
one?
All the, that's the First Coast Apartment Association. So all the major cities or municipalities really have these associations, and it really has to do with the amount of apartment buildings in their area.
Correct.
So, a lot of these apartment buildings become their members, and I believe... I don't want to give, I rather give facts, but I do know that the majority of the associations have over 200 plus units that are members in that community. And can you imagine 200 apartment communities joining one association? That's a big amount of people that that you're interfering with, right? So that's why I think it's always such a great opportunity to join and really get to know your peers there.
So now breaking it down to we're talking to landscaper, we're talking to roofers. You know, they're listening to the podcast, and they're like, okay, so what is the association? Um, so what is it exactly that they do? Not only that they're going to help the association and the industry for different laws that is going to affect the industry. So they have the legislators, the committee,
Yep.
so that are going to be lobbying in the states or the cities or even national. I myself have been to Washington D.C.
For
I've been
advocate.
there, yes, to
Yes.
advocate, and then I remember bringing different issues that were affecting Florida.
That's right.
Had the chance to sit down, with Marco Rubio and all this and that. That was a great,
Amazing
amazing
experience, right?
experience. Yes,
And especially for people like us, right? That we're not, I wasn't born in this country. I'm not an American citizen. You know, I
Correct.
was born in Colombia. And I know what it's like to be an immigrant. I know what it's like to be a woman of color. And just to be able to sit at a table, right, where you see people that you see on TV,
Right.
that your parents know about, and it gives you a sense of pride.
Oh yeah, for
It
sure.
makes you feel amazing, and those are the great steps that the apartment associations connect us with.
And that's perfect. That was a great experience for myself. Going to Tallahassee here in
Yes.
Florida many times, and I think Orlando have their agendas, and so is Tampa, and so
Yeah.
forth and so on. So, but it's great. It has been amazing to see how we all come together to fight for the same goals.
That's right.
So now, when it comes to vendors, let's just specify to the vendor side, how is it important for them?
Well, in all reality, I think it's one of the most important factors that you can choose to do in your business, right? Because when you have the audience already. So, like I mentioned, let's say that only one apartment association, a small one, has just 200 units, right? 200 communities. You are open to visit these 200 communities. They're in your network, right? So the apartment association in their platform, their website showcases you as a business, and it also showcases all the communities. So you kind of have a bank of resources at your fingertips. So you just access the web, joining their events, going to their trade shows, right? How many people actually go through that trade show? You're going to get at least 1,500 people minimum. So that's exposure for you. It's joining and being a supplier that's present. It's going to those, I believe our local apartment association in Orlando and even here the Bay Area have something that's called like First Impressions or first-time members. So it's an orientation where first-time members go there. They kind of meet and see what the apartment associations are doing and what their goals are for the year. And vendors come, and you're meeting new people that don't know anything about your business, that don't know anything about you, and you have that forum and that hour and a half, 2 hours to really dedicate yourself and make yourself the superstar of that room, right?
And also, when I had the chance to be ambassador for the association here in Tampa, my job was to educate vendors on how to act when it comes to
right.
being in there, right? And I believe, I don't know if that was one of the questions, but it is important to understand that volunteering
Yes.
is amazing. It
Yes.
gives you a lot of not only exposure, but that you're there to help.
Gratification.
Gratification.
Right?
Exactly.
Purpose. Everyone is here for a purpose, right? Everyone has a purpose. Now, some people know what their purpose are.
Yes.
Some people are still trying to find it. And these opportunities and these volunteer opportunities specifically really gauge where you are in your life, right? Because you see other people that are, like we did Toy for Tots. We collected 5,000 toys in Orlando. 5,000 toys. When we dropped off those toys,
Oh, it's amazing. It's an amazing feeling.
I mean, the feeling that you get just to know that you've helped one person is amazing. Going into a pantry and helping, someone that has, lost their home or through a fire, through Hatching Hope. We have a group of individuals that get together. We have a text group.
Okay.
And whenever there is any type of emergency, a fire, a flood, anything, natural disaster,
Hatching
whatever it
Hope
may
is
be,
a great organization, by the
we
way.
text each other, and immediately someone jumps in and says, well, where can I help? So we all go to the Hatching Hope resources, pick up whatever boxes, and then we move on and we deliver them.
That's awesome.
And it's just seeing, that little relief in someone's face, because everyone is experiencing some sort of trouble, right?
Correct.
So I think the volunteer opportunities is amazing.
I know. Let's go on with the other questions. How important is the network events and educational classes?
Well, because I'm a regional education director, I think education classes are
That's why
top priority, right? Well, it's always preparing yourself. I'm a person that I am constantly learning. And I love to be able to facilitate and provide that education to everyone. It's not just Latinos or, I want to provide education for everyone. So really being able to go to these training seminars, take in that information, bring it back to your teams, and then you as a property manager or regional educate your teams. Now you're kind of building a big chain, right? A really strong chain, because you took information from someone that was knowledgeable and are now enforcing it and bringing it onto your properties. And you're forging great relationships, and you're educating people on proper ways and policies and procedures, even customer service.
Right.
So, and that's what the world needs right now, right? A little bit more of customer service. So I always highly encourage any training opportunity that you have. In regards to networking, it's exactly that. You're going to network, you're going to meet people, you're going to put your brand out there, and we're our own personal brand, right? You have Prisco, but what was Prisco without you? You are the brand, right? You have to market yourself, you have to market your people. Same thing with Latinas in property management. I have to be able to market myself, and this is the networking opportunities that I have to bring that platform. Social media is another great use, and you get a broader audience, but you get your target audience out of that networking.
That's right.
Right? It's that target audience that you need. So those are important.
Beautiful. I saw this one, and I want to see your input on this question. Behavior and conduct when it comes to the association network events to maximize the exposure. The reason why I brought this is because of, and as you can see, the name of the podcast is Multifamily Off the Cuff. Is to actually say it and say things at the raw level,
Got it.
So I've seen, in the industry, and we're not gonna hide it, but we like to drink, have cocktails here and there. We like to have fun, right? So, but when I have the chance to educate the vendors getting into this event, and they're new, you have to watch your reputation.
Yes.
Don't make a fool of yourself when it comes to your brand. Like we just talked about your brand. So, behavior and how you can ruin it real quick. You can ruin your reputation in the first event that you go to, because you can compose yourself when it comes to whether it's drinking, acting up, passing your business card, like if you're, dealing in a poker table. Certain things that you need to understand when it comes to this. It's not about just jumping in. They don't know you. You need to create a rapport with the people that's around you, so that way you can start creating a relationship, and then in the long term, you're gonna start seeing the results of what you're planting. But what I see often is they come in and they want to see an immediate results, because I went to this network event and no one is calling me, and I gave a bunch of cards. Why are they calling me? Because they don't know you. You need to spend time. You need to volunteer. They need to see who you are. They need to see how kind of person you are. If you show up and you're drinking, you go drunk, and you pass out a bunch of cards, believe me,
they're not going to remember you for that.
Yeah, they're going to remember you for the guy that got drunk and they don't even know you.
Yeah.
So what have you seen on that?
Oh my goodness, I've seen a lot on that end, right? So I've seen the great behavior where someone is coming in, dominating that room, really showcasing their brand, ensuring that you know who they are in that room. And that should be everybody's goal, right?
Correct.
Coming in there, being the superstar. But at the same time, you have to come in a little bit humble, because at the end of the day, you're not the only supplier there,
Correct.
right? So everyone wants the forum, everyone wants the floor, but you need to learn how to share that floor. And it's forging relationships with other supplier partners that are really going to get you the results that you're looking for. While I understand that it's great that you go into a place, you buy drinks for everyone, you're the guy that everyone goes to because you have that little ticket, and everyone wants that ticket because everyone wants a free beer. But they're not going to remember you for that. They're
Right.
just going to remember you as the guy who gave them that beer. And every time I go to an event, I'm going to look for you because I know you're the guy with the tickets.
Right.
I don't care about your business. You're just the guy with the tickets. We don't want you to be the guy with the tickets. We want you to set limits. We want you to be professional, right? You're going to a professional environment. At the end of the day, this is a networking event that is held by professionals for professionals. We're not going to a bar. We're not going to hang out. We're not at the lounge smoking hookah. We're having a really nice conversation with a couple drinks, right? We want to ease ourselves for those that are a little bit nervous.
Right.
But it isn't there for you to supplement your self-esteem with a glass of a shot.
Correct.
Okay.
And beautiful. And this is something that I have shared with many because I've seen the worst scenarios. And it's unfortunate because it is a large community. It's a large a group of an industry. It's pretty large, but at the same time, it's very small.
Small.
It's very small.
It's small, Fernando. Fernando, you and I, how often do we really cross paths? Probably not that often, right? You live in Tampa, I'm in Orlando, but our worlds always collide some way or another, right? Because it's a really small industry and people talk. In all reality, let's be real, let's be raw, people talk. And you'll start getting a name for yourself. And the name that you want to give out has to be a positive one.
Correct.
And we all have issues. We all want to have a good time. But it's really, again, in that professional development. And you have to want that.
Correct.
You know, it's you that has to bring that and say, okay, I'm only going to have these 2 drinks because I know with that third one, I'm going to get a little loosey-goosey.
Exactly.
And I need to roll it back, right? We've seen this in award ceremonies in where it's been a great time. Everyone's received awards. Everybody's been drinking through the middle of the award. And now it's time to go home. And everybody wants to go to an after party.
Correct.
Right?
And that's when you have to decide, you know, your brain is going to be jeopardized if you do make the decision to go to that.
Correct.
So,
and think about it, Fernando. How many vice presidents really go to these after parties?
never.
None.
None
Why?
of them.
Why is it? They're protecting their brand,
Exactly.
their position. So as a leasing professional, you should also think the same way because eventually you want to become that vice president.
Right.
You want to become that regional. And if you have a trajectory of being a little drunk every time you go out, see, you know, it could be hard to get to that position. So
Thank you for sharing that because I know the leasing agents that are listening and they want to step up their game. You know, they start to see what are the decisions they need to make when they go to this event, so they can start opening up position or offers. You know, when VPs get to see them as well.
of course, it's so important to know that your conduct has to be ethical at all times.
And then it has another one. So, best way to get involved in the association.
Honestly, open up their website, join online. If your company is already a part or is already an affiliate, then you are already enrolled. It's literally just jumping in the email, jumping on their website, plugging in your email, creating a password, and that's it. It's enrolling yourself. Now, it's up to you to be active in that,
Beautiful.
right? You have to be active.
And that's the key word, be active.
Active. You have to be active. Look at the events. And don't just click on every event and go to every event. Look at the ones that are best for you, the ones that you're going to maximize your time and effort because your time is precious. As a leasing professional, their time is precious. They have to think about files, prospects coming in, a lead, calls. Your key performance factors are so high in our industry at this moment after COVID that time is precious. So as much as I want to join every event and participate in everything, I have to now start limiting myself.
Correct.
Because then overexposure is also not good.
Right.
So it's really trying to find that balance. So it's important.
That's amazing. So to recap, in this last question, whenever if anybody that's interested, whether you are in the industry working right now, but you're still not familiar with the association, it is great for leasing agents, property managers,
Maintenance supervisors,
supervisor, maintenance,
maintenance technicians, everybody really.
Right, but make sure for the maintenance also to pay attention to all those classes and certificates. Some of the suppliers, partners, offer different classes for
Yes.
AC, plumbing, and whatever the case is, and those are great for maintenance, to take advantage of. For leasing as well, the exposure to be in those network events will also give you the chance to opportunities. You might run into another property manager that you might have the chance to jump to another um,
Management company. Yep.
management company
Yep.
and then give you more opportunity for growth. I mean, it's just that network that you're gonna run into.
That's
Um,
right.
that is amazing for both sides.
That's
And
right.
then for vendors, same thing. That make sure that you conduct well and
Yes.
that you're professional, and then that also is gonna open up opportunity for business.
That's right.
So
And participate in what you're interested in and in the higher levels as well, right? So like the Florida Apartment Association, what you said about going to legislative conference, such an amazing opportunity. And it's, if you think about it, for the experience that you gain, the cost is so minimal.
right,
And many of our companies pay for these. And even if you have to pay out of pocket, because trust me, I've been there, honestly, the networking, the experience you gain is just so insightful, and it brings you to another level.
correct.
And we all want to get to that other level. And this is just a stepping stone, and use that for a stepping stone.
I always encourage people to join that one in particular.
Yeah.
Because when a regional sees you, that you are part of that bus trip,
Oh yeah.
and you're spending that time, and you're in Tallahassee, and you're experiencing all that together with a regional, that says a lot about you.
And it's public speaking, right? You're getting to learn to speak to a senator, to someone that is in higher power, and you have to bring real issues to the table.
Correct.
And you have to have facts that constitute the issues that you're talking about. So you really get to learn what our industry is going through, give your own opinion, bring back to that senator, or just to the table your own experiences from your own property, and just make it more human-like. So it really does bring you, I'll be honest with you, I did the first legislative conference about 4 years ago, and that prompted me to want to get into politics. So
God, okay.
that's my goal coming up in the future.
Okay.
You never know. But that's what really prompted that. It's getting to meet these people and knowing that my voice made a difference.
That's amazing.
And I was heard. And again, as a Hispanic, as a Latina, you really don't get those platforms.
Correct.
There's not that many people that look like you and me at the top. So it's great that when people look at you, they see that they can relate to you and that you are an aspiration that they can reach out to. So as a mentor, that's amazing as well.
And then to close this up, and amazing that I'm glad that you shared that, because for the people listening to us, that's something that they can actually start looking into, and hopefully we can see a crowd joining for this next one coming up.
Yes, February.
Right. And then just briefly, just share with us, what is this Latina in property management?
Oh my goodness. So Latinas in Property Management is my little baby. It started last year, and it was that I became a education director from a property manager. And when I kind of looked around the room, there was not a lot of people that looked like me. And when I reached out to my fellow community managers and said, hey, I have these opening opportunities as regionals or education directors, and they were all looking at me and saying, well, I'm not capable. And my question to them was always this: why are you not capable? You're doing great. Your budgets are perfect. You have your CAM. You have everything in place, and what's not allowing you? Well, they're going to look at me and they're not going to give me that opportunity. So Latinas in property management is really just going to open these doors. It's a mentorship program in where you are assigned a mentor, you have these one-on-one meetings, you have these really empowerment sessions that really give you the tools and the resources to go after the positions that you want.
Awesome.
So that's what we're building. We have a book that's coming out. It is a kind of like a glossary, and it is terminology in English, Spanish, and Portuguese. And then we're creating the Creole version. And it's just industry terminology that you can easily pull up when you're with a resident, a prospect, an owner, and you're able to sound professional, use correct terminology, and not sound like you don't know what you're talking about. It's really empowering all our professionals.
Same thing what I do for coaching, and there's a lingo when it comes to proposing anything to the multifamily
right.
that will make you look a professional, that you're involved with the industry, versus just coming up and using the word complex.
Winging it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They like apartment complex, when people start like kind of like cringing about, so
Yes.
you're certain thing and behavior that you have to do, not coming into visiting a property on the first of a month,
No.
at 9
Don't
a.m.
do a Monday, guys.
Exactly.
Okay. And Fridays are a little tough too.
Yeah,
Okay.
so Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, perfect.
Stays.
After 11.
That's right.
So
You got it. You got the mantra there.
correct. So those are the things that we help people to gain when they listen to the podcast. So, Jolene, thank you so much.
Welcome.
That
Thank
was
you for
great.
having me.
You're very welcome. And then this is episode number 18. You guys can tune in Spotify. You can actually look also on podcasts on iTunes and YouTube. You get to see us in the videos on YouTube channel, and that's going to be on Multifamily of the Cuff. So thank you for tuning in, and let's wait for this next episode that is coming up. Thank you.
Thank you.